Thank you. Now, Mr. Reyes, before we proceed any further, I need to discuss with you at least 5 very important rights and constitutional protections that you have. The first right you have is the right to remain silent. That means you do not have to make any kind of statement. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to submit written paperwork that has your signature, especially papers that confess or admit wrongdoing. Do you understand you have the right to remain silent?
I would say
Yes, sir, I do.
You have the right to a jury trial. That means 6 people that you and your attorney and the state's attorneys would select from a random jury pool. Those 6 people would hear the evidence, the information, and whatever is presented to them. And they would decide whether you're guilty or not guilty. That's the right to a jury trial. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have the right to confront or to face your witnesses. Any witness who will testify, you and your attorney can cross-examine, question, or challenge. Do you understand you have that right?
Yes, sir.
There's a right called the right of appeal. That's a right that you by yourself, your attorney by himself, or the 2 of you working together can submit demanding that a higher court review the evidence, information, and results of this hearing. That right is called the right of appeal. And you'd have to follow the right amount of the right paperwork, the time limits, but that is called the right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Right. There's also the right to conduct or have this hearing in an open public courtroom. You have that right, and the state has that right. There are 2 individual rights for the state and for you. Now, those rights, all 5 that I just mentioned to you, and others perhaps, those rights are rights that you give up if you proceed with a plea. Do you understand you are giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Did anyone threaten you, intimidate you, or promise you anything to get you to agree to a plea?
No, sir.
Pardon me?
No, sir.
All right. Now, Mr. Reyes, I'm going to show you the paperwork for this proceeding, for this plea. Those papers will always start off at the top with what I call identifying information. They have the case number, the cause number, 659344. It says the state of Texas versus Leroy Reyes. And then it says in County Court of Law number 5, Bexar County, Texas. Now that information will be repeated in almost all the documents. There's one exception where it doesn't, and there's another one where it doesn't mention County Court 5. In this particular document, the title of it is State's Consent to Video Conference. That means you're giving up the right to be in the public courtroom. It is being mainstreamed on, or streamed rather, on the YouTube, which makes it open to the entire public, but it is not in an open public courtroom. This is the one for the state, where the state agrees to video conference. It is signed by the state's prosecutor, Ms. Caitlin Morgan. Now, the document being shown to you now is called Discovery Acknowledgement. It has the same information at the top, excuse me, a repetition. This one, if you look at the top, right under Discovery Acknowledgement, the title, it says pursuant to Article 39.14 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. Essentially, this is a law that the state of Texas has that requires the prosecutors in the case to provide to you access to all the materials, receipts, videos, tests, whatever exists that is material or relevant to this case. You're supposed to provide, they're supposed to provide it for you. This document has the signatures of the state attorney and of your attorney. They are saying that, yes, this law has been obeyed, it's been complied with. Did you see and understand that?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right. The next document, that's your document, where you say that you consent to the video conference. It starts up there, I, Leroy Reyes, hereby waive my right to enter my plea of guilty con nolo contendere. That wording says that you know that you're giving up the right to be in the open public courtroom. Did you sign that and your attorney signed it with you?
Yes, sir.
All right. The next document is, again, repeats the identifying information. This one is titled Defendant's Waiver of Constitutional Rights in Court's Admonitions. It starts off with 3 important sentences. They're separate. It says that you know that you're being charged with indecent exposure. It says that you're pleading nolo contendere to that charge. Then it's divided into 15 different parts or divisions. Each one is numbered 1 through 15. Number 1 says that this is a Class B misdemeanor. This is what's called the range of punishment. This is the punishment you can get for this offense. It's a fine from $0 to $2,000 and jail from 0 days to 180 days. Did you see and understand that information?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right. All the rest of these paragraphs are all important. Number 2 repeats the rights and responsibilities and protections that you have. Did you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Number 3, have you ever had mental health problems or been given or taken mental health medications?
Yes, I'm
use drugs?
I got a psychosis and I'm taking Abilify, Cyproxy, and Zoloft.
All right. Are you under that medication right now?
Yes, sir.
And does that affect your understanding of what's going on here in court?
Oh, not at this moment, but from time to time, yes, it does.
I'm sorry. Kayleen, did you get that?
Time to time,
From time to time.
yes. I'm stand right now.
All right.
I can't understand.
Mr. Valachek, have you conferred with your client and are his medications affecting his ability to understand this?
They are in a positive way, Your Honor. If it was not for his medication, he might not be competent, but he does understand everything this morning, and I believe he is competent due to the good psychiatrists and psychologists there at the jail prescribing him this necessary medication.
And are you telling me also, as the officer of the court, that you believe that the medications affect him in a positive way and that he does have a clear understanding of this procedure?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sir, Mr. Reyes, where were you born?
Here in San Antonio.
All right. Number 8 talks about whether you're a citizen or not. I will note in the file that you are a U.S. citizen. All these paragraphs, Mr. Reyes, Mr. Valachek, I'll ask Mr. Reyes first. Did y'all go over them together?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your
Mr.
Honor.
Valachek, you reviewed them with him?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, and then y'all signed these after understanding what they were asking or telling you, Mr. Reyes?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the next document is my certification to you, Mr. Reyes, that regarding your right of appeal. There's a stack of vertical little boxes, and next to each box, there is a declaration or explanation of the right of appeal or the type of right that you have. The 5th box I am having marked. It says this is a plea bargain case and the defendant has no right of appeal. Did you see and understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
And you and your attorney discussed it and you understand it?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you did sign it, of course.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now we're going to reload the computer a little bit. Then we're going to go over a couple of more documents. This one is called a plea agreement. This is a little bit different from the regular identifying information. It does say the state of Texas versus Leroy Reyes, then the case number does not mention County Court 5, but this is a record for County Court 5. The first two boxes on this plea agreement will be signed, will be marked by the court. The first one talks about, again, basically the right to remain silent. The second one identifies you as a US citizen. Then the next section talks about 5 different rights and protections that you have, that you know and understand what they are and how you're doing those, or how you are giving those up. Do you understand it?
Yes, sir.
I don't know.
Okay. The next section that you're going to be involved with is where it says non-DWI allegations. There's a check mark identifying this case as indecent exposure. To that charge, sir, how do you plead?
No contest.
All right. It is marked no contendere, which is, yes, the same as no contest. Sir, I am ordering you to appear within 7 days in our judicial system, in our courtroom or at the jail, whichever is available, so that you can have your thumbprint placed on the documents that are required by Article 38.32 of the Code of Criminal Procedure. You have pled guilty, rather nolo contendere. I've explained to you that that's the same as guilty. Based on your plea and the evidence, I find you guilty. You are sentenced to 32 days Bexar County Jail. You have 0 fine, 0 court costs. You are granted credit for time served. Time and money run concurrently.
Yeah.
The court finds that you have satisfied this judgment, so that on this case, you owe nothing further to the state of Texas or to this court. Any questions, Mr. Reyes?
No, sir.
Any questions, Mr. Valachek?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Morgan?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right. Then that concludes